Hi, 7th graders. This is our last lesson in Chapter 1. It's Lesson 1.5, covering dividing integers. Similar to last lesson, where we had rules if they have the same sign or different signs, same applies to dividing integers. So when we are dividing integers with the same sign, so a positive number divided by a positive number, again, the answer or the quotient, the answer in a division problem, is going to be positive. Okay, so that's the same, just like with multiplication. Multiplying two integers with the same sign is positive. Dividing two integers with the same sign is your answer is going to be positive. Okay, so here we have 8 divided by 2. Both are positive. We get a positive 4. Same thing here. Negative 8 divided by negative 2. We again get a positive answer. And then dividing integers with different signs, same thing before as with multiplication. The quotient or the answer is going to be negative when we have different signs. So here again we see it, 8 divided by a negative 2. We have a positive number and a negative number. We get, there's an error here. This should be negative 4. And then we have negative 8 divided by 2 is going to give us, again, a negative answer. So both of those are negative numbers. Another way to organize your thoughts on this is the same chart we had before, just different column headings. So we start with, the number we start with is our dividend, then we have our divisor, and the quotient is the answer to our division problem. If both numbers before the equal sign are the same, so either they're both positive or they're both negative, our answer then is always going to be positive. Okay, if we have our numbers before the answer are different, so positive and negative or negative and positive, then our answers, our division problem answers are going to be negative. One more thing is dividing by 0. So there's two different things you can think of. The first is when you have 0 divided by any other number, your answer is always going to be 0. Think of it as, you don't have any candy bars and you try to share it with 5 people. Well, no one's going to get anything because you started with 0. The second part of this is that if you take a number divided by 0, it's going to be what we call undefined. And we're going to watch a little video because this link isn't working quite right. So in class I'll watch a little video as to why, for example, 5 divided by 0 is what we call undefined. And then order operations, this is nothing new. This is something that you have seen in the past. This applies to any expression that we have. I don't have to remind you about it, but order of operations is a set of rules that tells us what operation to do first. And so that applies to any expression, equation that we're working with. So find negative 48 divided by negative 6. So here I have the same sign, so my answer is going to be positive. Okay, same as before, same signs that I'm working with, and it's going to be positive. So then I look and say, okay, what are my numbers? 48 divided by 6, that's going to give me 8. So I have negative 48 divided by negative 6. It's going to give me 8, and because I have 2 of the same signs, it's going to say a positive 8. So 8 is my final answer. Here, find negative 84 divided by negative 4. So again, my answer, I have 2 numbers that are both the same sign. So my answer is going to be positive because they have the same sign. So then I look to my numbers without their signs and I try to figure out what the answer is without their sign. So 84 divided by 4. If that's hard for you to do, again, you can kind of do long division. Divide by 4. 4 goes into 8 2 times. So 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract. And then I'm going to bring down that 4. 4 divided by 4 is going to be 1. Okay, so then 1 times 4 is 4. I have 0 left over, so it's exactly 21. And then because my answer I already figured out is positive, 21 is going to be my final answer. Find negative 39 divided by 3, and so here I have a negative number and then I have a positive number, so because they're different signs, my answer is going to be negative. And so then I'm going to go and try to figure out what 39 divided by 3 is. And you might not know that off the top of your head, so some long division. 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract the 0 and bring down the 9. 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. It's exactly 13. So then I go back to my problem, negative 39 divided by 3. I have 13. And so because I already figured out the answer is going to be negative, it's going to be a negative 13. And that is my final answer. Here it says find x minus 8, and that quantity divided by y to the second power. This little thing right here is called a caret. It just means y squared, or y raised to the second power, when x equals 4 and y equals 2. So what I'm going to do here, and you can rewrite this if you want. It's a little hard to tell because my program doesn't allow me to write certain things. So what this is looks like that. And it says when x equals 4, so I'm going to plug in 4 wherever I see x, and y equals 2. So again, wherever I see y, I'm going to plug in 2. So this is going to change to, here I have x equals 4, so I'm going to put that in where I had 4 minus 8. I just plugged in what it told me to. And then y equaled 2, so 2 squared. And that little 2 just means it's multiplying by itself 2 times. So I'm going to simplify this a little bit. 4 minus 8 over, and then I'm just going to rewrite this 2 times 2, because that's what that means. And so now my order of operations, I have to do what's in the parentheses first. So I'm just going to continue this down here. So my 4 minus 8 I have to do first. I have 4 really plus a negative 8. I changed that subtraction sign to adding the opposite. And over 2 times 2. Still doing what's in the parentheses first. So 4 positive, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 8 negative, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These guys are going to fight, and then I'm left over with 4 negatives. So here I have negative 4 on top. 2 times 2 is going to be just 4. And now I can divide them because I'm done with my parentheses. I can move on to any multiplication division that's next. And so I have negative 4 divided by 4. If you wanted to, you could rewrite that like this if you wanted. And so right now I have a negative number and a positive number, so I have different signs. So my answer is going to be a negative number. And then I look and say 4 divided by 4, well, that's 1. So I have a negative 1 is going to be my final answer.